Hey folks, welcome to Queer Dance Project. Thank you for joining me today on this segment of Queer Dance Project. We're actually going to do some pec stretches. The contraindication, the warning before doing this is if you've what is it called, dislocated the shoulder, be very cautious and be very gentle when you're doing it. So let's go and find yourself a doorway, but let's take our time. There's a lot of little things we can do here, okay? So I'm here in my hallway. My mirror is behind me, so you probably have a really good idea what I'm doing here. So I want my legs in a staggered position. My pelvis is here. The doorway is right here, right? But I want my legs, it doesn't matter which leg. I tend to do the furthest leg away from the wall. And that's my leg placement, right? And I want to put my shoulder in line with that doorway. So if I was to go here, my shoulder is right here. So better an angle is my shoulders right there, okay? So if I take my hand and arm and I put it right here, I'm actually a little too far forward. So I'm going to take a half a step back, but I'm also going to stagger my feet. I'm going to make sure that one leg is definitely further in front of that line, this doorway line, okay? Okay, we're here. Arm is going to be slightly lower than the shoulder height, okay? This camera is right about here on me. So I want my shoulder just below, my elbow just below that. I want you to focus on that front leg and just bend the front leg and let that movement stretch this. 1, 2, come back 3, 4. 2 seconds is a really good number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I have a couple of patients that shoulder will pop. I have some friends actually that their shoulders will pop when they do this. And the best way to do it is don't go as far. Just go to the point where it's not going to pop. And that might be right there. 1, come back out, 2. 1, 2, and we need to do about 10 here, okay? So we're gonna keep this arm low, and if that shoulder gets tight, we don't want any popping, okay? That's gonna be on a muscle we're gonna talk about in a second. So this is pec major and pec minor we're gonna get to in a second. So there it is. If you have a tendency to dislocate a shoulder, don't do this. I wouldn't do this, or come and see me directly. Come and see me directly, and we'll talk a little bit more in depth about this, because there is ways we can stretch it. We just have to be very mindful about it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if we have that like a 4-count tempo, 1, 2, 3, 4, that gives a 2-count second, 2 seconds. 1001, 1002. I like the counts going in. 1, we're here. 2, we come back. 3, 4. There's another tendency is for this shoulder to bob in. Let's not. Let's keep this nice up. Use the collarbone wide and just lean. And then come back out. And then lean. Come back out. And some people might get a lot of tingling from this because we're getting blood into these muscles right here. We haven't in a while. So let's go back to our placement. Don't get out of place because we got a lot more to do here. Now we're going to take this and we're going to walk that hand up. So it's parallel. And I want full range of motion of this, okay? Range of motion is something physical therapists talk about behind your back, because they're like, how's the ROM? That's just a range of motion of the joint. If there's compensation, then there'll be a limited range of motion or a decrease of range of motion. So there it is. There's the stretch. 2, and come back. 1 and 2, coming back. 3 and 4. So we want to do 10 here, using this front leg as the motion as the piston. Don't just lean into it, because then you're putting all the motion right on this pec, right on that pec. And if there's any weakness or weak link, we'll tear it. Okay, we'll tear little fibers. We don't want that. So after 10 here, let's go up a little further. And we'll do 10 here, all right? And 10, it's gotta be 2 seconds. If you get into this long stretch, it might feel good, but we wanna lengthen that muscle, and I would encourage long stretches after a workout, short stretches before and throughout the day. You know, just shorter stretches. You get actually more length of motion of that muscle, right? Now, when we get up to this place, this often the shoulder will dislocate if you have that problem, so don't do it there. No bueno. This is pec minor, and she's up here. She's really kind of up in there, and some people will find more of a stretch here, and we'll take it maybe a little more slowly. Maybe make it 6 counts, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, come out, 5, 6, and just give a little bit more care to that muscle, because that muscle can be a little tight on people, because it's really easy to rotate and hold it there. Let's go to this other side. Once again, leg placement, staggered legs, staggered leg placement. Arm is just below the shoulder, and we're bending that front knee. And I always find one is more than the other. So the more we do this, lowers our risk of breast cancer, and increases lymph and blood flow through the lymph system underneath that arm and into the breast tissue, both male, female, non-binary, doesn't matter. Hand on the waist, don't let that arm, the leg, other side bob in. If it is tight, sorry, I'm popping on that. If it is tight, this often will happen. I've seen it in a lot of my patients as a massage therapist and then as a acupuncturist. So let's take that up a little. Let's do our 10 here. Remember, 1, 2 in, 3, 4. So in 1, hold 2, 3, out 4. And just a nice simple tempo. Maybe even an adagio tempo. And then we're going to go a little higher. Remember, we're going to get into the pec minor up here, so it's going to get a little tighter. We also have that risk of dislocation, so watch that, please. There's that. All right. If you have limited range of motion and that shoulder pops often, take it easier, softer. Really put all the emphasis on the front leg and not the leg. Just let the leg take it into that. Oh, there's that stretch, right? Don't take it into, I can go further. It's better to err on the side of caution and just go into it, find that stretch, and come back out. All right, this is a long video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope it helps. If you have any questions, send them to me, queerdanceproject@gmail.com. Thanks. Y'all are keeping it queer. Bye.